You might know her as the queen of country music with a voice that can melt hearts and a personality brighter than her rhinestone outfits. But did you know that Dolly Parton once took things so far, it left everyone in shock?
Shocking, shocking.
Let's dive into the world of Dolly, where things aren't always as simple as they seem. The humble beginnings of a country icon. Nestled in the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee in a tiny one-room cabin, a star was born. Not just any star, but Dolly Rebecca Parton, the fourth of 12 siblings. Now, if you're imagining a luxurious childhood filled with glitz and glam, think again. Dolly's early years were anything but glamorous. The Partons were dirt poor, and when we say dirt, we mean it quite literally. They didn't have fancy toys or lavish vacations. Instead, they had love, music, and each other. Dolly's grandfather was a preacher, and it was in the church that she first showcased her vocal prowess. By the age of 6, she was already strumming a homemade guitar, and by 10, she was featuring on local radio and TV shows. Talk about starting young. But it wasn't just her voice that stood out. Dolly had a knack for storytelling. She could weave tales of love, loss, and laughter, all with a twang of her country roots. As Dolly grew, so did her ambitions. She wasn't content just being the darling of Locust Ridge. No, she had bigger dreams. Dreams of bright lights, grand stages, and a sea of fans singing along to her tunes. But to achieve that, she'd have to leave her beloved mountains behind. And leave she did, but not without a heavy heart and a promise to return. Now you might be thinking, a young girl moving to the big city all alone? That sounds like a recipe for disaster, and in most cases you'd be right. But Dolly wasn't like most. She was determined, hard-working, and had a pinch of that Parton charm. Nashville, the country music capital, was about to get a taste of Dolly, and boy, were they in for a treat. But as she stepped into the world of music and fame, not everything was smooth sailing. The industry was tough, competitive, and often ruthless. Many tried to take advantage of her, but Dolly, with her sharp wit and even sharper tongue, made sure they regretted it. She penned songs that resonated with people, songs that told stories that were often a reflection of her own life. And just when Nashville thought they had seen all of Dolly, she dropped a bombshell, a decision that would change the course of her career forever. Curious to know what it was? Well, let's just say Dolly's daring move to Nashville was just the beginning. The real drama was yet to unfold. Dolly's daring move to Nashville. Nashville, Tennessee, the beating heart of country music, a place where dreams are made, stars are born, and legends are etched into history. But for a young Dolly Parton, fresh from the mountains and with big dreams in her eyes, Nashville was a whole new world. A world filled with honky-tonks, cowboy boots, and the sweet sound of the steel guitar echoing through the streets. Now, moving to a big city can be daunting for anyone, let alone a young girl from a tiny mountain town. But Dolly wasn't just anyone. With her guitar in hand and a song in her heart, she took to the streets of Nashville, determined to make her mark. And while the city was vast and the competition fierce, Dolly had something that set her apart. Her unique voice and her ability to tell stories that touch the soul. But let's not paint too rosy a picture here. Nashville was tough. Record labels were even tougher. They wanted a certain type, a certain sound. And while Dolly had the talent, she didn't always fit the mold. There were rejections, doors slammed in her face, and nights where she questioned her decision to leave her beloved Smoky Mountains. However, in the midst of all the challenges, Dolly's resilience shone through. She began performing at local venues, collaborating with other artists, and slowly but surely, her name started to create a buzz in the music circles. People began to take notice. They'd say, "Have you heard that new girl, Dolly? She's got something special." And special she was. In a short span of time, Dolly went from being a newcomer to a sought-after artist. Record labels that once rejected her were now vying for her attention. But Dolly, true to her roots, knew the value of hard work and staying true to oneself. She penned songs that were not just hits but anthems, songs that people related to, cried to, and celebrated with. But just as things seemed to be going perfectly, Dolly did the unthinkable. She took a risk, a gamble that not many would dare to take, and this decision would not only shape her career but also the landscape of country music forever. What was this bold move? Well, let's just say if you thought moving to Nashville was her biggest challenge, you're in for a surprise. Because the song that shocked the world is up next, and it's a tale you won't want to miss. The song that shocked the world. In the world of music, there are songs that entertain, songs that inspire, and then there are songs that redefine genres. For Dolly, that song was just around the corner, and it was about to send shockwaves through the industry. Enter Jolene, a haunting melody, a tale of heartbreak, and a plea to a stunning, red-headed woman. Now, you might be thinking, what's so shocking about a song on heartbreak? Isn't that what country music is all about? Well, yes and no. While the theme was familiar, the raw emotion and vulnerability Dolly brought to the song were unparalleled. It wasn't just a song, it was a confession, a raw outpouring of emotion. The story goes that Dolly wrote Jolene based on a real-life encounter.
Now, this is a true story for those of you that don't know.
A bank teller with flaming red hair had taken a liking to her husband, and while the flirtation was innocent, it was enough to inspire one of the most iconic songs in country music history. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of painting Jolene as the villain, Dolly's lyrics delve into her own insecurities, her own fears. It was a perspective shift that resonated with many. Jolene wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon. It topped charts, won awards, and solidified Dolly's position as a force to be reckoned with. But more than the accolades, it showcased Dolly's genius as a songwriter. She had the unique ability to take personal experiences and turn them into universal truths. But as with any massive success, there were challenges. There were rumors, speculations about the true identity of Jolene, and debates on whether the song was a work of fiction or a page from Dolly's life. Dolly, with her trademark wit, often laughed off the speculations, leaving fans and critics guessing. And while Jolene was making waves, Dolly was already on to her next adventure, an adventure that would take her far from the recording studios of Nashville and onto the glitzy sets of Hollywood. Yes, our country girl was about to take on the world of movies. And if you think her songs had drama, wait till you hear about her Hollywood escapades. Because Dolly's unexpected Hollywood adventure is up next, and trust me, it's a story filled with glitz, glamour, and a whole lot of Dolly Parton's unexpected Hollywood adventure. When you think of Dolly Parton, the first thing that might come to mind is her iconic voice and her country roots. But Dolly, ever the trailblazer, decided to venture into uncharted territory, Hollywood. And no, she wasn't just there to sing a tune or two. She was there to act. It all began with a script that landed on Dolly's desk. A story about 3 working women, tired of their chauvinistic boss and dreaming of a better life. The movie? 9 to 5. Now, for someone with no formal acting training, taking on a lead role in a major Hollywood production might seem like a tall order. But Dolly, with her infectious charm and natural flair for drama, fit right in. On set, she was a breath of fresh air. While Hollywood can often be a place of egos and rivalries, Dolly's down-to-earth nature and genuine warmth won everyone over. And it wasn't just her co-stars that were smitten. The audience loved her too. 9 to 5 Inches became a box office hit, and Dolly's portrayal of the sassy secretary Doralee Rhodes became iconic. Oh, and did we mention she also wrote and performed the title track, which became an anthem for working women everywhere. But Dolly's Hollywood journey didn't stop there. She went on to star in other films like The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas and Steel Magnolias. Each role showcased a different facet of her talent, from comedy to drama, proving that she was not just a one-trick pony. However, as with any journey, there were bumps along the way. Not every film was a hit, and critics were often divided on her performances. But in true Dolly fashion, she took it all in stride. She once quipped, "I'm not offended by all the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb, and I also know I'm not blonde." As the years went by, Dolly's focus shifted back to her first love, music. But her stint in Hollywood left an indelible mark. It showed the world that Dolly Parton was not just a country singer. She was an entertainer in the truest sense of the word. And just when you thought you'd heard it all, Dolly had another surprise up her sleeve. A dream that was close to her heart, a tribute to her roots, and a gift to her fans. Curious? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into Dolly's theme park dream, and it's a ride you won't want to miss. Breaking Barriers, Dolly's Theme Park Dream. From the glitzy stages of Hollywood to the serene valleys of Tennessee, Dolly's journey had been nothing short of spectacular. But for someone who had conquered the charts and the big screen, what was next? Well, Dolly had a dream, one that was larger than life, quite literally. Nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, Dolly envisioned a place where families could come together, relive the magic of her music, and experience the charm of her childhood. A place where the past met the present, where music met adventure. This dream was to become Dollywood. Now, creating a theme park is no small feat. It requires vision, planning, and a whole lot of determination. But if there's one thing we've learned about Dolly, it's that when she sets her mind to something, she goes all out. And so, in 1986, Dollywood opened its doors to the public. But this wasn't just any theme park. Dollywood was a reflection of Dolly's life and her love for her hometown. From the replica of her childhood home to the Southern Gospel Museum, every corner of the park told a story. And of course, there were the rides, thrilling roller coasters, serene paddleboat rides, and fun-filled water attractions ensured that there was something for everyone. But Dollywood was more than just rides and attractions. It was a celebration of the culture and heritage of the Smoky Mountains. The park showcased local artisans, craftsmen, and musicians, giving visitors a taste of the rich traditions of the region. As the years went by, Dollywood expanded, adding new attractions, shows, and events. The park became a symbol of Dolly's commitment to her roots and her desire to give back to her community. It provided jobs, boosted tourism, and put Pigeon Forge on the map as a must-visit destination. But while Dollywood was thriving, Dolly was about to face one of the biggest controversies of her career. A song, a legend, and a whole lot of drama. Curious? Well, hold on to your hats, because the story behind I Will Always Love You is up next. And trust me, it's a tale filled with twists, turns, and a whole lot of heart. The controversy behind I Will Always Love You. I Will Always Love You. A song that has echoed through the ages, touching hearts and stirring emotions. But while many associate this ballad with the powerhouse vocals of Whitney Houston, its origins trace back to our very own Dolly Parton. And boy, does it have a story to tell. The year was 1973. Dolly was at a crossroads in her career. She had been a regular on the Porter Wagoner show for several years, and while the partnership had been fruitful, Dolly felt the need to spread her wings and embark on a solo journey. But leaving wasn't easy. How do you bid farewell to someone who has been instrumental in your success? If you're Dolly Parton, you do it through a song. I Will Always Love You was Dolly's poignant goodbye to Porter Wagoner. It was a thank you, a farewell, and a promise to always cherish the memories. The song was a hit, touching the top of the country charts not once but twice. But the story doesn't end there. Fast forward to the 90s, and the song found its way to Whitney Houston, who was looking for a ballad for her movie, The Bodyguard. And when Whitney sang it, the world stopped and listened. Her rendition was powerful, soulful, and became an instant classic. It topped charts worldwide and became one of the best-selling singles of all time. But with great success came controversy. Many believed that Dolly had sold the song to Whitney. Rumors swirled, and debates raged over who sang it better. But Dolly, ever the gracious queen, set the record straight. She expressed her admiration for Whitney's version and stated that the song still belonged to her. After all, she had penned it from the heart. The song's success was a testament to Dolly's genius as a songwriter. It showed that a song, when sung from the heart, could transcend genres, eras, and artists. And while the world may remember Whitney's powerful vocals, the soul of the song will always belong to Dolly. But as the world was singing along to I Will Always Love You, Dolly was quietly making moves behind the scenes. moves that showcased a side of her that few were privy to, a side that was generous, compassionate, and always looking to give back. Curious? Well, get ready to dive deep into Dolly's world of philanthropy, because what she did next will warm your heart and restore your faith in humanity. Dolly's generosity, more than just a songbird. While the world swayed to the melodies of Dolly's songs, there was a side to her that often stayed out of the limelight. Beyond the glitz, glamour, and sequined outfits, Dolly Parton was a philanthropist at heart. Her generosity knew no bounds, and her desire to give back was deeply rooted in her humble beginnings. Growing up in a one-room cabin in the Smoky Mountains, Dolly knew the struggles of life all too well. She witnessed poverty, hardship, and the challenges that came with limited access to education and resources. But instead of letting these experiences weigh her down, Dolly used them as a driving force to make a difference. Enter the Dollywood Foundation. Established in 1988, this foundation was Dolly's way of giving back to her community. One of its flagship programs, the Imagination Library, was a testament to Dolly's love for reading and her belief in the power of education. The program aimed to foster a love for reading among children by providing them with a free book every month from birth until they started school. What began as a local initiative soon spread across the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, gifting millions of books to children worldwide. But Dolly's generosity wasn't limited to books. She supported numerous causes, from wildlife conservation to disaster relief. When wildfires ravaged the Smoky Mountains in 2016, Dolly was quick to respond. Through her foundation, she set up the My People Fund, which provided financial assistance to families who had lost their homes. Her compassion and swift action were a beacon of hope during those challenging times. While many celebrities often make charitable contributions, Dolly's approach was personal. She was hands-on, involved, and genuinely cared about making a difference. For her, charity wasn't about tax breaks or positive PR. It was about changing lives and leaving the world a little better than she found it. But as we delve deeper into Dolly's philanthropic endeavors, we uncover stories that are lesser known but equally impactful, stories that showcase the depth of her generosity and the lengths she would go to help those in need. So, are you ready to discover the secret side of Dolly's philanthropy? Because what comes next is a heartwarming tale of kindness, compassion, and the true spirit of giving. The secret side of Parton's philanthropy. Dolly Parton, with her larger-than-life persona, has always been in the spotlight. But behind the scenes, she's been quietly working miracles, often without seeking any recognition. This secret side of her philanthropy is filled with tales of kindness that have touched countless lives. One such story revolves around a hospital in Sevier County. When Dolly heard that the local hospital was struggling to fund a new wing, she didn't think twice. She hosted a benefit concert, raising a significant amount of money, and the new addition to the hospital was soon a reality. But Dolly didn't stop there. She ensured that the wing had state-of-the-art equipment, providing the community with access to top-notch health care. Education, a cause close to Dolly's heart, saw her support go beyond the Imagination Library. She funded scholarships for high school students, ensuring that financial constraints didn't hinder their dreams. The Dolly Parton Scholarship awarded students based on their leadership, community service, and academic achievements. For Dolly, it was about investing in the future, one student at a time. But perhaps the most touching of all her charitable endeavors was her support for families in need. Every Christmas, Dolly's foundation would identify families struggling to make ends meet and ensure they had food on their table and presents under their tree. These acts of kindness, done without any fanfare, brought joy and hope to many. Dolly's philanthropy also extended to the LGBTQ+ community. She has been a vocal supporter of LGBTQ+ rights and has often used her platform to advocate for acceptance and love. Her support has not only been verbal, she's backed it up with action, supporting various charities and initiatives that work towards LGBTQ+ rights and well-being. While these stories offer just a glimpse into Dolly's charitable endeavors, they highlight a consistent theme: her genuine desire to help and make a difference. For Dolly, it's never been about the accolades or the recognition. It's always been about the impact. But as we've seen, Dolly's influence isn't limited to her philanthropy. She's also been a vocal advocate on various social issues, using her platform to drive change. Ready to dive into Dolly's bold stand on social matters? Because up next, we're exploring how this country queen became a voice for the voiceless. Dolly's bold stand on social issues. In a world where celebrities often tread lightly around controversial topics, Dolly Parton stands out as a beacon of authenticity. While she's known for her bubbly personality and infectious laughter, when it comes to social issues, Dolly doesn't shy away. She speaks her mind, and in doing so has become an unexpected but powerful advocate for change. One of the most notable instances of this was her public support for the Black Lives Matter movement. In an interview, when asked about the movement, Dolly responded with her signature wit and wisdom. "Do we think our little white asses are the only ones that matter? No!" This simple yet powerful statement resonated with many, highlighting Dolly's belief in equality and justice for all. But her advocacy isn't just limited to words. Dolly has taken actionable steps to ensure inclusivity. A prime example is her decision to rename one of the attractions at her Dollywood theme park. What was once known as the Dixie Stampede is now simply the Stampede, a change made in recognition of the divisive connotations associated with the word Dixie. Dolly's support for the LGBTQ+ community is also noteworthy. She's been a vocal ally, often emphasizing the importance of love and acceptance. In her words, "God made us as we are, whether you're gay, straight, or transgender." Her annual Gay Day at Dollywood, where she celebrates the LGBTQ+ community, is a testament to her commitment to inclusivity. But it's not just about grand gestures. Dolly's approach to social issues is deeply personal. She often shares anecdotes from her life, highlighting the lessons she's learned and the values she holds dear. Stories of her childhood, where she grew up around people from all walks of life, have shaped her worldview. For Dolly, it's always been about understanding, empathy, and the belief that at the end of the day, we're all human. As we delve deeper into Dolly's life and legacy, it becomes evident that her impact goes beyond music and philanthropy. She's a cultural icon, a voice for the marginalized, and a beacon of hope in challenging times. But what is the legacy that Dolly wishes to leave behind? As we move to our final chapter, we explore the everlasting impact of this country legend and the mark she's left on the world. The legacy of a legend, Dolly's everlasting impact. When we talk about legacies, it's often in the context of what one leaves behind after they're gone. But in the case of Dolly Parton, her legacy is very much alive, evolving, and continuing to inspire millions around the globe. Dolly's music career, spanning over 5 decades, has seen her release countless hits, earning her a spot in the coveted Country Music Hall of Fame. But beyond the awards and accolades, Dolly's songs have touched hearts, narrating stories of love, loss, hope, and resilience. Songs like Jolene and 9 to 5 Inches have become anthems, transcending generations and resonating with fans young and old. But Dolly's influence isn't just confined to the world of music. Her foray into film and television has seen her act, produce, and even compose soundtracks. Movies like Steel Magnolias and 9 to 5 Inches showcased her acting prowess, while her production ventures like Heartstrings on Netflix highlight her storytelling abilities. Yet, at the core of Dolly's legacy is her unwavering spirit of generosity. From her efforts to boost literacy to her contributions to medical research, Dolly's philanthropic endeavors showcase her commitment to making the world a better place. Her recent donation towards COVID-19 vaccine research further cements her status as a humanitarian, always ready to step up in times of crisis. But perhaps what truly sets Dolly apart is her authenticity. In an industry often rife with pretense, Dolly has remained genuine, staying true to herself and her values. Her candidness about her struggles, her humility despite her immense success, and her ability to connect with people from all walks of life make her a true icon. If you enjoyed this video, check out the next one in this series.